After a bye this weekend, they play at San Francisco and Washington. Then they play three of the best teams in the NFC, the Chiefs, Falcons, and Eagles. And they finish off with the Chargers. Eric Dickerson is still with us. Eric, if Zeke is gone for the next 6 games, how will the Cowboys do?
Well, Skip, I got some good news
great.
for you, and I got some bad news.
Give me the bad news first.
The bad news first is that I think they were going to only win about 2 games. I think they'll go 2-4. The good news is they got 2 bye weeks. They've got a bye week this week, and I think they have a bye week when they play the 49ers. That's the good news. You know, really.
I don't know. The 49ers put up a bunch of points on your Rams on that Thursday night.
Who won the game? Huh?
You got me.
Who won the game?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well.
You know, I think the problem is that it's not just, not having Zeke. The offensive line is not playing like they played last year. And
True.
That is the big part of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if they have Zeke, they're better for sure. How much better? I'm not sure because the team isn't playing the same. They're not having, 2nd and 2, second and third and 1. I mean, that's 2nd and 8. 3rd
Second and 12 a lot because Zeke gets stuck in the back.
3rd and 15. It's just a lot of those. So without that same, offensive line play that they had last year, they're having a problem. I mean, even my good friend Emmett Smith said this. Man, you see them holes Zeke got? I'm like, Emmett, come on, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, we saw the hole with Nate Newton and Tuanay and Skip Bayless easy.
I think that's one of the problems, and I think they'll beat the 49ers. I think they'll lose to the Redskins. I think they'll lose to Kansas City. I think they'll lose to Atlanta. I think they'll lose to Philly, and they possibly will beat the Chargers. And so I think they'll go 2-4 in that run. So. I say I got good news and bad news.
What do you got, 0-6?
Go
ahead, go 0-6.
All this is not necessary, Skip.
It's okay, pile on.
But you will get Sean Lee back. That's the other good news.
Can he run the football?
It's like, okay, ED, which would you rather get run over by, a Mack truck or a dump truck? The end result is still
Just
the
get it
same.
over with quick.
Because guess what, Skip? When you had Zeke, you only went 2-3. And I told you, the difference between Zeke is Terrell Davis and the Broncos offense. Those other guys can run you, can get you 100 yards, get you 80 yards, you stay on rhythm. But Zeke Elliott can run you to the Super Bowl. Terrell Davis ran us to the Super Bowl. There's a reason why Alfred Morris only had 8 carries in 5 games, because Zeke is the bell cow. He gives you the best chance to win. And granted, the offensive line is not playing. Maybe it's not them. Maybe the defense got tired of hearing old Skip Bayless talk about how good his offensive line is, and Zeke was just eating.
He was eating after the game, too.
So the defensive coordinators and defensive linemen, they got tired of hearing about how great Zeke was. Skip, they're in a heap of trouble. They are in trouble because they were 2-3 with Zeke. And guess what? We're not going to have to drop that 8th guy down in the box to deal with Alfred Morris, to deal with Darren McFadden. So we're going to make that thing a little bit more complicated. Why'd you have to make things so complicated? Hey, your boy Dak, we about to find out. You say Dak is a franchise quarterback.
Do I?
Well, we about to find out.
Okay, I think we found out
for
a year and a half.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't find nothing out. We found out when he got up against old big A-Rod. A-Rod said, I want to make you feel good. Because Tony Romo was breathing over down your neck, and I wanted you to stay in there because I wanted to make sure.
We're talking about that game at Lambeau last year?
Yeah. Aaron lost that. Aaron lost it on purpose.
Oh, he lost it?
Yeah, lost it on purpose.
I did not know that. I learned something every day on this show. He got his butt whipped on purpose by a kid from Mississippi State who fell into the 4th round, and he lost 30-16 at home on the hallowed, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
What happened? What happened when you get the playoffs? All the money.
31-all happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah, Mason crossbar happened twice from 56 yards and 51 yards. That's what happened. So in Dak, I trust, and I still say this team is going to win this division.
No
It's
change.
a long, hard climb, but I'm standing by it. I'm standing by it because I got Dak and nobody else has Dak. I got the best quarterback in the division, and he will prevail.
You might have the third best.
I do like Dak, but I just think that the team is not playing well. And when you're not playing well,
I hear you, but all of a sudden, and again, we're doing if Zeke is gone, and I don't think he's going to be gone, but I'm going to just do the hypothetical. all of a sudden everybody's going to say, oh, because I told you last year they played scared, good, what I call good scared. It's like what Popovich calls appropriate fear. They had it last year because every game you're going into, we don't have Tony Romo. We got the fourth-round kid thrown into the fire. And what happened? They won 11 straight games with appropriate fear. This year, they have not had appropriate fear because they're fat-catting, man. They came in after they devastated the Giants when everybody thought the Giants were still the Giants on opening night, 19-3. Then they strutted up to Denver. We got this, just rolled those helmets with the stars on them out on the field. And what happened? That happened.
Trev was the best quarterback on the field.
Yeah, and has Zeke looked remotely like Zeke? Because he hasn't to me. I think he has eaten a little too much off the field. I think he's gained a couple of extra pounds, maybe 10 extra pounds, and he hasn't had the burst that he had last year. And I know he got untracked in the fourth quarter, but he had 31 yards against Green Bay at home through 3 quarters. That's not exactly ED kind of numbers. And then in the fourth quarter, they dropped the safeties back out of the box. They said, we got to sit on this lead. And it's not just covered two. You know, it's like they're playing like prevent to me. And all of a sudden, guess who got untracked? Oh, Zeke says, oh, now I got some holes. Because too many times he's going for none yards on first down, 1 yard, 2 yards. It's terrible. And Cole Beasley, I don't know where he's been, but he led the team in catches and yards last year, and he hasn't been there.
He caught 2 touchdowns last week.
Remember last year when people were talking about what's happened to Todd Gurley? You know, where's Todd Gurley at? And I kept saying, when your offensive line can't protect you, you can't get to the line of scrimmage, you have a problem. You're seeing Zeke get hit in the backfield a lot.
He has. Listen,
and that takes away from the running game.
For much of the game against the Green Bay Packers and certainly against your Rams, my offensive line lost the line of scrimmage. Seriously, they were losing. And I don't know why, if it's cohesion or chemistry, or because we still got 3 studs that were ranked among all NFL players in the top 25. They're all there. They're healthy.
What I tell you about that chain? You got this chain right there, and this is the strong part of your chain with your offensive line. If you take 2 links out, or links a week, that chain is like this. You know, it's got stuff coming through it.
The farthest right chain is not a weak link. He's just way out of position. If you put him back at guard, I'm talking about Lyle Collins. He's a stud. But at right tackle, he's been lost, and Chaz Green just can't. He's the weak link.
So and that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I mean, but just think, you and I will be able to talk about the playoffs. We'll be in the playoff mode. We'll be talking about teams.
What did you see when you looked up one moment against the Los Angeles Rams? Oh, who's that backup back? Who's that Alfred Morris guy? Oh, he's off to the races. He's going 70 yards.
But I tell you about them backups.
But Zeke, it's easy to. We've seen a lot of backups on one team when they go somewhere else to be the starter. You're like, I thought he could. There's something called expectations. See, right now there's no expectation. That's why he got 8 carries. But when the expectations wrap up, because see, when you come in for a guy that's injured like a Zeke, they expect you to be him.
They do.
And he's not him. Skip, it's okay. I told you weren't going to the playoffs. I told you you're going to be.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what? Here's my biggest.
Do you think they're going to the playoffs, though?
Yeah, well, if you win the division, don't you get to go to the playoffs?
But you're not winning the division.
You're not going to win the division.
I just said I'm going to win the division, so why would you ask me if I'm going to the playoffs?
What do y'all normally bet, or what?
Case of Duke.
Case of Mountain Dew.
Can
Diet Dew.
I get some of
you
that?
can get that.
All right,
Yeah, you got it right here, right now. I don't back off, man. I'm not backing down.
I like that. A man is loyal to his team.
I do have one big fear, and this I can't control. What have I been campaigning for? Go sign Antonio Cromartie. We had him on yesterday. He says, I ain't heard nothing. Go sign Darrell Revis.
Well, they ain't going to sign him now because he said he's kneeling.
So my fear is that Jerry effectively is, he's kneeling. He got Kaepernick. So the point is, it feels like Jerry's saying, I'm going to rebuild on defense this year. I'm going to reload with the kids because my offense will kind of cover up. You can't cover up that much. If you're going to play Jordan Lewis and Awuzie and Xavier Woods every snap on defense with 3 kids back there, you can't survive like that.
You don't normally when you rebuild, it's a rebuilding process
for the team.
But when you got an offense this good and you have a defense that good and you talking about you rebuilding, they're like,
just one vet, just go sign one guy, a veteran presence.
Well, you think about last year's Cowboys. Who carried that team? The offense. offense.
Yeah.
The offense.
Okay,
the offense
but remember,
because
now
they kept everybody on the sideline.
Okay, they kept on the sideline, but when they were on the field, they were still 5th best in the whole league in scoring defense and points allowed.
Yep.
And they lost a bunch of veteran presence. I'm not saying because you didn't like used Carr.
No.
But he's been there, right? He's been there. We just saw Barry Church. He's been there. Now he's playing really well for
Wilcox.
Wilcox has been there.
Edie. Oh, I want Jeff Heath. I want him on the field. He picked Aaron Rodgers
Well,
off.
he did. He picked him twice.
Now every time I turn around, every time I see Jeff Heath, he's on the ground. Everybody just shaking him out of his shoes. What happened? I thought you wanted him on the field. And what happened to Byron Jones? He just let Jared Cook just run all the way across the field.
He's an athlete, though, Byron Jones.
Yeah, well, he should try
All of them athletes. That's the thing.
Well, he should be a decathlete then.
Yeah, he should be.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.